government taking proactive steps to resolve felder issues. Special grant to Sarawak and Sabah to remain at 300 million ringgit. Well, salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Well, the unity government is taking proactive steps to resolve 4 issues involving infrastructure in felder settlements, well, namely streetlights, rural health clinics, telecommunications and security checkpoints. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said surveys conducted by independent bodies reveal that issues concerning the lack of streetlights and health clinics were among the main grouses of the felder community. Dato' Sri Ahmad Zahid, who is also Rural and Regional Development Minister, said telecommunications was also another issue lamented by the felder community, and the matter has now got the attention of Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadil. The Deputy Prime Minister said he had personally requested that most felder areas be equipped with Starlink satellite devices.
Maka komitmen Kementerian Komunikasi dan Digital dan sekali lagi atas desakan pengurusi felda dan diperlakukan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri, kawasan felda wajib diliputi oleh 5G dalam waktu yang terdekat ini, insya-Allah.
He was speaking at the Sentuhan Kasih Desa at Simpang Pelangai program in Bentong today. Well, a total of 50,000 placements will be allocated for felder's youths to further their studies in the field of technical and vocational education and training, or TVET. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also National TVET Council Committee Chairman, said the placement in more than 1,300 TVET institutions will be offered to the 2nd to 5th generations of felder, with the courses provided in line with the country's employment requirements.
Dan tentulah kursus-kursus yang diadakan ini tidak lagi kursus-kursus konvensional yang diadakan. Kita lihat bagaimana agensi-agensi dan syarikat-syarikat yang ada yang sedia menawarkan pekerjaan di sini. Umpamanya kalau kita mahu terlibat di dalam bidang resorts, travel and tours umpamanya, ataupun dalam bidang penginsurenan, ataupun dalam bidang-bidang lain.
He said this while officiating the My Future Jobs Career Carnival at Felda Cemomoy, Bentong today. He further noted that the courses provided should be in line with the current market and requirements to enable them to meet many job opportunities. Dato' Sri Ahmad Zahid, who is also the Rural and Regional Development Minister, said discussions will be held with the parties involved, such as the Majlis Amanah Rakyat, MARA, and the Human Resources Development Corporation, HRD Corp, to see the current needs in the courses which can be offered, among others. Well, the imposition of a transaction fee for payments made via Do It Now QR will be discussed in a special meeting of the National Action Council on Cost of Living, or NACO, this Tuesday. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Deputy Minister Fuzia Saleh said the meeting, which would be chaired by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, would be attended by representatives of Bank Negara Malaysia, BNM, as the regulator of the country's banking sector.
Jadi bayangkan kalau 1.9 juta peniaga yang menggunakan Do It Now ni ataupun payment platform ini, berapa banyak keuntungan kepada bank, ya, dan apa takut kesannya juga kepada pengguna. Jadi kita yang menjaga pengguna tentu sekali risau.
Met in Ikuti today, Fuzia also expressed concern that the imposition of the transaction fee would impede the implementation of country's digitalization programs as outlined under the 12 Malaysia Plan. She said that KPDN had previously implemented the Retail Sector Digitalization Initiative program to help small entrepreneurs, especially in making digital payment methods more accessible to consumers. The minister noted that the ministry is worried that the transaction fee will have a negative impact on micro and small traders and consumers. Meanwhile, Fuzia said that the public can get supplies of local rice at the Agro Madani sales program and subsidize imported rice through the Rahmah sales program. Well, the Health Ministry, the MOH, is on high alert for any possible existence of disease X in the country. Its Deputy Minister, Lukanisman Awang Sauni, said that the preparations were based on the experience of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and other infections, such as Nipah virus, which is a severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, coronavirus, or MERS-CoV, despite the fact that the disease had not yet been discovered. Lukanisman said that the MOH would always monitor developments at home as well as abroad and ensure the country's health system was strengthened to face any eventuality.
Saya berharap agar masyarakat tidak bimbang dan kita akan sentiasa mewawakan sekiranya berlaku sebarang pandemik ataupun penyebaran virus kepada masyarakat. Jaminan daripada kami, kita memperhaluskan pengalaman kita menangani COVID-19 dan pengalaman-pengalaman tersebut akan kita jadikan panduan untuk menyelamatkan masyarakat kita pada masa hadapan.
Regarding the Wellness Month campaign, which is held every September, Lukanisman said it was one of the ministry's efforts to promote a healthy lifestyle among Malaysians. Well, he said that the program was also held to strengthen cooperation among key partners, particularly those from the private sector, in line with one of the policies outlined in the Health White Paper, which was tabled in Parliament last June. He said this when met after the Lotus Ceria Charity Run program in conjunction with the Wellness Month celebration in Setia Alam today. Well, the Sultan of Kelantan, Sultan Muhammad V, called on the state government to take more proactive measures to ensure food security in the state. While His Royal Highness said the government needs to further refine all the applications to change the status of agricultural land to building in order to contain the reduction of such land as well as disruption of the food supply chain. While Sultan Muhammad said he is aware that the current economic situation in 2023 is expected to grow slowly due to international geopolitical tensions, which contribute to the increase in commodity prices and worsen global inflation. Therefore, His Royal Highness hoped that the government views the matter seriously and recommended short-term measures to address the suffering of the people in terms of living pressure, which must be done as soon as possible. Sultan Muhammad also ordered that a viable investment mission be carried out effectively and carefully to ensure that the agenda of promoting the state of Kelantan as a competitive investment destination continues to be successful. Still ahead, U.S. government teeters on brink of shutdown with no deal in view. Well, the U.S. government was on the verge of a shutdown as Congress struggled to reach a deal to keep agencies running, prevent national park closures, and avoid the suspension of salaries for federal employees and military staff. Well, the closure would be the first since 2019 and appears increasingly inevitable, with lawmakers at an impasse on improving even a short-term spending bill. Now, the two chambers of Congress are deadlocked, with a small group of hardline Republicans in the House of Representatives pushing back against any stopgap measure that would at least keep the lights on. Well, White House National Economic Council Director Lael Brainard said a shutdown places the world's largest economy at risk unnecessarily. While she added that the risks include air travel delays, with air traffic controllers asked to work without pay, while households may be unable to access certain benefits. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also warned the closure could also delay infrastructure improvements. Armenia said Saturday that over 100,000 people have fled Nagorno-Karabakh, meaning nearly all The official population of the ethnic Armenian enclave has left since Azerbaijan seized back control. Nazeli Bagdasaryan, a spokeswoman for Armenia's prime minister, said the number of refugees entering the country over the past week had reached 100,417. Well, the exodus comes after the Armenian enclave, estimated before to have a population of 120,000, saw its decades-long fight against Azerbaijani rule end in sudden defeat. Baku reconquered the territory, internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan, in a lightning offensive last week that appeared to bring the curtain down on the festering conflict. The ethnic Armenian authorities in the self-proclaimed republic announced it was officially ceasing to exist after they agreed to capitulate and hand over their arms. Yerevan has accused Azerbaijan of conducting a campaign of ethnic cleansing to clear Nagorno-Karabakh of its Armenian population. The United Nations will send a mission to Nagorno-Karabakh this weekend, mainly to assess humanitarian needs. Now, the world body had not had access to the region in about 30 years. Coming up in sports, Malaysian squash girls clinch team gold. Let's start with some good news as the national women's squash team put on a classy display to wrest the Asian Games team title by stunning reigning champions Hong Kong 2-1 in the final today. But it was the top-seeded Hong Kong who drew first blood when they scored the first point in the nail-biting final at the Hangzhou Olympic Sports Center squash court. Credit to Malaysia's world number 32, Rachel Arnold, for giving it everything in a 15-minute Titanic tussle against Song Zi-wing before going down 11-7, 7-11, 11-8, 8-11, 6-11. However, world number 36, S. Sivasangari, rose to the occasion to produce a dominant performance en route to routing Ho Zi-lok 11-5, 11-8, 11-6 to level the points. That set the stage for 21-year-old Aifa Azman to get the job done, and the world number 23 did not disappoint as she outplayed Chan Sik-yuk 11-5, 11-8, 11-13, 11-8 to deliver the country's third gold in the Hangzhou Asian Games. The Malaysian girls qualified for the final after eliminating South Korea 2-0 in the semi-finals yesterday. Well, congratulations, Malaysia. Well, Simon Carr of EF Education Easy Post sealed overall victory at the Tour de Langkawi. Well, Gleb Seresa from the Astana, Kazakhstan team won stage 8 in Kuala Lumpur. Well, Carr moved into the overall lead with victory atop Genting Highlands on stage 5, and the 25-year-old defended his advantage thereafter to become the first British winner of the Tour de Langkawi. Well, he finished the race 49 seconds clear of teammate Jefferson Kepera, with Pablo Castillo from Terima completing the final podium in Kuala Lumpur. Saturday's concluding stage finish, a bunch sprint through Seresa, had been part of a dangerous 14-man move earlier in the day. Now, the Astana rider still had enough in his legs to claim the sprint ahead of Daniel Babor of Kaya Rural Serigos RGA and Arvid Decline Tudor Pro Cycling. It was his second stage win of this year's race. Well, Selangor exacted revenge for their recent Malaysia Cup quarter-final loss by whipping Terengganu FC 4-0 in a Super League match played at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium in Kuala Terengganu Friday night. Now, a brace from Venezuelan striker Yohandri Orozco and a goal each from Nipe winger Muhammad Faisal Abdul Halim and Muhammad Alif Izwan Yuzlan ensured Selangor chalk their first win at their opponent's den
in 5 years.
Orozco opened the floodgates in the 26th minute with a shot from outside the penalty box and continued to torment the Terengganu defence before getting his second goal in the 41st minute, courtesy of goalkeeping error by Muhammad Rahadiadzli Rahalim. Selangor piled on the pressure after the break, with Muhammad Faisal showing no mercy to his former club when he unleashed a left-footed shot in the 57th minute to grab his 11th goal of the season. 3 minutes later, Terengganu had a great chance to get back into the game when Croatian import Ivan Mahmud saw his shot saved by Selangor goalkeeper Samuel Jacob Somerville. Substitute Muhammad Alif Izwan Yuzlan added the icing on the cake for Selangor with the 4th goal in the 81st minute to keep the Red Giants firmly rooted in second place in the league standings with 52 points, while Terengganu are in 6th with 35 points. Meanwhile, Terengganu FC or TFC head coach Tomislav Saint-Brotner refused to blame his charges for the significant defeat to Selangor FC in the Super League match at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium Friday night. Well, even though they failed to secure 3 crucial points on home turf, the 56-year-old coach expressed satisfaction with the dedication of many young players who gave their all in the match. Saint-Brotner said that despite the risk, he had to field many young players as some of the key members of the Turtle squad were plagued with injury problems following a very tight match schedule. The Turtles' loss to Selangor FC marks an end to their 12-game undefeated streak in the Super League, Malaysia Cup and the Asian Football Confederation or AFC Cup competitions. Selangor FC's victory allowed them to remain in second place in the Super League standings with 52 points, while TFC remained in 6th place with 35 points.
Well, over in more sports, Welshman Elfyn Evans kept alive his title hopes as Oitenak claimed the opening day's honours in the Rally of Chile on Friday. Now, Evans needed a strong showing in this 11th round of 13 to keep in the World Championship hunt as he lags 33 points behind Toyota teammate Kale Rovanpera.
Si mesti menang. Semangat perjuangan terus diledakkan dalam setiap pertembungan. 14 pasukan, satu sorakan. Liga Super 2023 bersama kami di RTM, rakan penyiar NFL Liga Malaysia 2023.
Coming up next, Ministry continues to provide support, opportunities to local animation industry. Well, the special grant to Sarawak and Sabah will remain at 300 million ringgit for the 2024 budget. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said a new formula for the calculation of the grants had yet to be finalised, but it had been agreed that the amount would remain at 300 million ringgit for both states next year. Now, Dato Sri Fadillah said the allocation of 300 million ringgit is now subject to be gazetted, and once it is gazetted, it will be paid. He added that the amount will definitely be included in the 2024 budget. He was met after officiating a Sarawak Coca Cluster Cooperative and Interaction Day at the Coca Development and Research Centre in Kota Samarahan. The special grants to Sarawak and Sabah are stipulated under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution. The Prime Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, announced in January that the special grant to Sarawak would be raised to 300 million ringgit from 16 million ringgit, while Sabah would receive 260 million. He also said the special grants would be reviewed every 5 years so that a more quote-unquote reasonable sum could be allocated. Well, the value of Malaysia's cocoa exports reached 4.364 billion ringgit from January to July this year. And Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof, who is also the Minister of Plantation and Commodities, well, he said the amount was a good development in reaching the cocoa export income target of 8 billion ringgit this year. Well, according to Dato Sri Fadillah, cocoa is the third largest commodity contributing to the country's exports value after palm oil and rubber. In 2022, cocoa contributed as much as 7.8 billion ringgit to the country's export income. Well, he said this was an increase of 13.7% compared to 2021. Dato' Sri Fadila said the country's cocoa plantation area is currently 5,985 hectares and is targeted to increase to 6,335 hectares as a result of the opening of new cocoa plantation areas. Well, of that amount, 24.6% or 1,473 hectares of cocoa crops are cultivated in Sarawak. He added that cocoa cultivation is in Sarawak as in concentrated in Kota Samarahan and Sarikei, while the number of cocoa farmers in Sarawak to date is 1,290 people. Well, he also said the cocoa industry has great potential to expand further to be comparable to other national commodities such as palm oil. The Ministry of Communications and Digital, or KKD, will continue to support and provide opportunities to the local animation industry following its remarkable achievements in the realm of animation and digital content. Well, KKD's Secretary General, Dato' Muhammad Fauzi Mat Isa, said the ministry, through the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, has also taken the initiative to provide a network for all award-winning and locally produced animation films.
He said Golden Screen Cinemas, or GSC, is also providing the opportunity for short animation films to be shown on the big screen.
We at KKD, through MDEC, look forward to continuously supporting and providing opportunities to our local animation industry through talent programs, grant support, missions to animation festival, and business matching initiative.
Dato' Muhammad Fauzi said this in his opening remarks during the special screening of the Malaysia Animation Film Festival, MAFF 2023 today. On the MAFF special screening session, he said the event celebrates the brilliant talent of local animators and marks the first time that Malaysian award-winning short films are featured and enjoyed by a wider audience. The MAFF 2023 showcases homegrown animators with a lineup of short animation films at GSC from 5th to the 25th of October.
Well, the government's decision to return the assets of Lembaga Tabung Haji, or TH, follows the successful restructuring and recovery plan implemented by the Pilgrim Fund. Well, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said the decision was also made considering the current financial capability and stability of TH. In a statement, Dr. Muhammad Naim said TH will hold official discussions with the Finance Ministry on the steps that should be taken to retrieve its assets. He added that his ministry will continue to elevate TH through integrity and professionalism in an effort to safeguard the interests of all Muslims and depositors. On 11 December 2018, TH transferred assets valued at nearly 19.9 billion ringgit to a Finance Ministry's Special Purpose Vehicle, or SPV, to consolidate its financial position. Well, yesterday, Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim announced that all the assets that were handed over to the SPV would be returned to TH. Dato' Sri Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, said the decision was taken following the recovery of TH, which is now well managed. He added that returning the assets would also dismiss claims made previously that they had been sold. Well, China maintained a basic balance in international payments in the first half of this year. Now, with its foreign exchange market posting a relative strong resilience amid the slowing global economy. Well, according to the State Administration of Foreign Exchange, or SAHIH's 6-month report, in the first half of this year, China's current account surplus was $146.3 billion and its ratio to gross domestic product, or GDP, was 1.7%. Now, of the total, the surplus was rather under trade in goods came in at $293.3 billion US dollars, and the deficit under trade in services was $102.2 billion, and that is what the data showed. Now, in terms of overseas capital inflows, direct investment in China maintained a net inflow, and securities investments reversed from a net reduction in holdings in the first quarter to a net increase in holdings in the second quarter. China's direct investment and securities investment abroad also progressed in an orderly manner. And by the end of June, the country's external net assets were $2.8 trillion US dollars, an increase of 10% from the end of 2022. The dramatic fluctuation in shares of Vietnamese electric vehicle maker VinFast is, quote, normal, and unquote that for its chief executive Lee Thi-Thu-Thoi said, insisting the company was on sound footing despite racking up huge losses.
Shares in the Communist state-first homegrown car manufacturer have veered wildly since it listed on the Nasdaq in August, peaking above $82 before lurching back down, closing at $12.56 recently. At one point, VinFast's valuation was greater than auto behemoths Ford and General Motors, but some commentators have warned it is overvalued, pointing to slow sales and poor reviews of its VF8 model in the United States. But CEO Lee Thi-Thu-Thoi insisted the volatility was to be expected.
It's normal for the share price to be very volatile at the beginning after listing, especially with such a very small free float.
Despite posting a loss of $2 billion in 2022 and over $1 billion in the first half of 2023, VinFast has embarked on a major push to become a global player in the lucrative but crowded EV market. The company, which launched in 2017, aims to compete with giants like Elon Musk's Tesla and has begun work on a factory in the U.S. state of North Carolina.
Well, that's it from us this evening. In our top story, government taking proactive steps to resolve FELDA issues. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos. Thanks for watching. Malaysia Madani, Tekat Perpaduan, Penuhi Harapan. Good day.